Turn to Allah, He's never far away. Put your trust in Him, raise your hands and pray. Ooh, ya Allah, guide my steps, don't let me go astray. You're the only one who can show me the way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Inshallah, 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 we'll find our way. Inshallah, 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 we'll find our way.
Thank you for the comments. Questions from the sisters?
Thank you, sir, our Imam. I think more often than not, it is misguiding self to think that the next person that you are good to must essentially be good to you. It is a wrong thinking. We call it irrational thinking in psychopathology. And there is what we call cognitive restructuring, which is a counteracting treatment for such person. Than not, we need to recognize our limits and bounds. You don't have control over your wife doing what you don't want to do. You can only appeal. You can only motivate. Like, okay, please zoom on it. You see there, because we do not recognize our limits, that is when we run into trouble. In the head, you have the pointer. In the head region is what is within your control. At the outside region is outside of your control. The actions of others is outside of your control. No woman will say or has authority over a man marrying more than one wife. Are we together? Bá forí ṣe, kẹ́ fọrùn ṣe. Nǹkan tó bá máa ṣẹlẹ̀, á ṣẹlẹ̀. Wa ma tasha'una illa an yasha Allahu Rabbul Alamin. Ẹni tí ò ní fẹ́yàwó kan, bókọ̀lá kó kú, afẹ́ kejì. It's outside of your control. So manage what is within your control. Your boundaries. Kéèyàn mọ̀ wọ́n rẹ̀. Your thoughts, your actions, the goals that you set for yourself. Tó bá lé lógì, ó ṣe é rọ́ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́rọ́. Tápá ò bá ṣe é ṣán, ó ṣe é ká lórí. In fact, I saw a lady in the clinic when she was going to break down about ọkọ òun fẹ́yàwó mi. Hey, come on, develop other packages, options. If you don't know what you can think of doing positively, come back and let's look at it. Go and reflect. If you set good goals, product tó bá jẹ́ pé owó ló fẹ́ ní tẹ́lẹ̀ tàbí òwò ló fẹ́ ṣe tọ́kọ òde orí ṣe nítorí ó gbé lórí pé kìíní tó dẹ̀ ti gbé ẹ jùlẹ̀ kò gbé ẹ ṣánlẹ̀. Set goals for yourself that is within your control, but it has to be within the boundary of lock or liar. Am I speaking to somebody there? God bless you. So the rest is for you. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My question is to Dr. Sambe. Sir, please, I would like to know, not for my benefit alone, for the benefit of others. the case of schizophrenia. Is there a cure for schizophrenia? If there is, cure for schizophrenia, if there is, how long can it be? Is it possible for somebody suffering from schizophrenia to act normal like every other person again? And what are the main pointers to look out for? I know schizophrenia is in male and female, but it's common in female, to the best of my knowledge. And reported is maybe 2%. So, what are the pointers? Things that people should look out for. Might be husband or wife or relative, family, work colleagues. Please, can you expatiate on it? Thank you, sir.
I thank you very much indeed for that question. Schizophrenia is a classical psychopathology that is common in Nigeria. Okay? And it is not gender biased. But with my knowledge and research, I give it to more males than females in Nigeria. Globally, it is taken by research and research results that depression is given more to females than male. However, mania is given more to male than female. Are we together? But looking at schizophrenia and marriage, let me shock you. More often than not, African psychophilosophy had registered the fact that ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́kọ-láya ọjà òkùnkùn ni o. Yes, science is helping us with premarital counseling. The point I'm making is certain individuals may have had the psychopathology pre-marriage, either male or female. However, let us go straight to save the time. It is treatable, it is manageable, but whether an individual will be cured or not is a different ball game. There is a one-third thinking for all forms of psychopathology that one-third will get better. Listen to me carefully, ladies and gentlemen. One-third will get better with or without medication or treatment. How long they will be in that condition is S, Y, Z ad infinitum. Ojo Ọlọ́run ló tó yẹn. One-third will get better with management and treatment and live your perceived normal life. And one-third may never get better with all forms of management that I have highlighted: spiritual, psychological, biological, and social. So these are dynamics. That is why when an individual is convicted in the court due to psychopathology, they are more often confined to the hospital or to the prison ad infinitum, because no professional wants to sign on that this person will be well or is well, because if there is any trigger, the individual can relapse. So I strongly recommend treatment and continuous treatment. But if you allow me, I will say more of psychological, social, and spiritual than biological. However, it depends on individual, the families, and so on. I hope I have done justice to your question. Another one. That is outside the
You've done well, sir. Part of the question is the signs, pointers to look out for, so that to prevent the trigger.
Thank you. Schizophrenia comes like anwiru, onwiru. You are talking A, the individual is talking Z. You are asking What is your name? Grandfather, let me give you a classic one. One individual who was diagnosed as being schizophrenic went to the post office, but he was reporting that when I went to the bank, I got to the post office and the bank manager was not at the post office. I don't know if anybody is with me. You see that they will even generate words. Okay, what did you eat? I ate extracurricular vegetable salad. Are we together? Do you get the point? So, the statements that the individual will be making, dressing, the individual will be very irritable when you ask him or her, go and take your bath. Go and trim your nails. Go and, personal hygiene. The individual will obviously not sleep well and will be very disturbing, and you dare not attempt to correct the individual and so on and so on. Don't forget what I said earlier. Here is not a diagnostic training workshop. It is an awareness workshop so that you won't go and start looking for what is not there. Thank you.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So my question is regarding REM sleep disorder, which is acting violently during sleep. And you are not aware. Then when you wake up, you don't even remember. You might remember some of the episodes, but not all. So I want to ask, what are the causes? Is there treatment option? Can the condition be effectively managed or cured? And what are the specialists to consult for such? Thank you.
As I stand here, Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital has a sleep laboratory. Are we together? Supported by Vitafoam. You know Vitafoam now. You know Galaxy mattress now. Sorry, I don't want to advertise, but if you have ever slept on Galaxy, that is by the way. But honestly, all psychopathological conditions are manageable, provided there is adequate psychosocial economic support for the individual. Let me shock you. When I was presenting in a public space like this, someone asked, Dr. Sombe Shama gba room and parlor láti fi bọ́mọ sọ̀rọ̀ ni, mo lẹ́yìn títí ẹ bá gba duplex, kó tètè ya gbà, kó gbà fọlọ́run bóun láṣìírí. Once tó bá ti lè afford duplex láti lè fi tọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀ sọ́nà. As I speak, over a year ago, a child was rehabilitated per week with 850,000 naira, and he spent 10 weeks in rehab. Ṣé kò ti gba duplex? 800 and something times 10. Ó ti bọ́ sí bí okay, so there is treatment. Thank you.
The next question is meant for the man. Wọ́n ní ṣé sùúrù ló pin? Ìgbà wo ni èèyàn lè ṣe sùúrù dà téèyàn ní tako òfin Ọlọ́run? Oníṣe sùúrù ló pin. Ìgbà wo lèèyàn lè stop láti máa ṣe sùúrù téèyàn ní tako òfin Ọlọ́run?
Ẹnìyẹn ti answer question yẹn. Wípé ṣé sùúrù ní òpin? Is there a limit for patience? Yes. So the final part of it is ìgbà wo nìyẹn lè ní sùúrù dà téèyàn òfin ní tako òfin Ọlọ́run tó o bá ti lè rí pé o ti fẹ́ máa tako òfin Ọlọ́run níbi torí sùúrù rẹ òpin rẹ̀ náà nìyẹn. So when you discover that I will be offending Allah if I continue being silent, if I continue being patient, then that is the limit. So what do you now do when you get to that limit? That's the next thing. But Allah has never asked us in the Quran to be patient absolutely without qualification. Allah says, "Fasbir sabran jamila." Be patient, a beautiful one. Ìgbà mi ń bẹ sùúrù kìí ṣe sùúrù mà àgọ̀ nìyẹn. Sùúrù mi ń bẹ kìí ṣe sùúrù mà àgọ̀ nìyẹn. Sùúrù tó bá ti mú yàn ní depression ó ti kúrò ní sùúrù. Sùúrù tó bá ti mú yàn ṣe Ọlọ́run pé àmọ́ á ṣe sùúrù náà ni ó wá di pé something is going wrong or you are offending Allah. That is no longer sùúrù. It may be indecisiveness. May Allah guide us aright.
Sister Kafaya, the question I asked you earlier, on who to choose as confident.
Okay. Now, so I think the mentioned that confidant is our younger brother, and he had asked that why not our husband, right? Especially if she's married. I think, as I mentioned, emotional bond has to do with safety, right? Emotional safety and closeness. So if she feels closest to her brother, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong in that, as long as she also has a beautiful relationship with her husband.
All right. There are some questions online.
Okay.
How does one deal with an 18-year-old who feels his privacy is encroached on for checking his chats with an opposite gender?
Okay. So there's something in adolescence, right? As children reach that adolescence, they're now emerging adults. There's something we call emerging autonomy. So they have that sense of thinking, oh, I'm now independent now. But we also know that there's that developing brain, which is the fact that you're 18 does not mean you practically know what is best for you, always. So having that balance helps. We could have intermittent checking, like we need to keep tab of your activities without necessarily having to do that always. And one thing I like to tell parents is that we should have tried our best to do a lot of good job while they are very young. Because when they are that 18, even if you feel like you want to keep checking, they could just delete the chat now, can't they? They could delete the chat, delete the call log, even have a secret phone somewhere, right? So we should build that basis of trust, let them know why we are doing the monitoring. We could have to check intermittently, but we don't have to do it every time, such that this person even now become more secretive. I think we should also already build that relationship, whereby they see us as a trusting guide. You would see some 18-year-old, 17-year-old, when they have concerns, they can talk to their parents, because they know that you're not there to judge them, you're there to guide them. So I think strengthening that relationship is actually much more important than checking every time.
The next one is for the Imam. How would you advise a husband who is tired of being patient with his disrespectful wife?
How do we advise a husband who is tired of his disrespectful wife? So if a wife is disrespectful, I think at the onset of the marriage, the man may not have married her. So when she becomes disrespectful, I see that as a symptom. And when a doctor notices a symptom, after diagnosis, they have to do diagnosis when they see a symptom. So ordinary common people will be talking about the symptom. A doctor will say, testing. So, what makes your wife to become disrespectful to you? That is one. So sometimes you may have caused it. Maybe you are also disrespectful to her. But as men, sometimes we don't accept this reality, that our wives are treating us the way we are treating them. But we are quick to see what they do, even though they may not be in the position to tell us who we are. So first look at yourself. Are you disrespectful to her? Or you are harsh to her? Or you don't appreciate her? So we look into this. Do you appreciate her? Do you respect her? So do you take care of her? Do you listen to her? Are you harsh to her? if you have now seen that, no, I'm very nice, I appreciate her, I take care of her, I encourage her, I talk her, then why is she now disrespectful? Quran says, Quran says, when you notice that your wife is misbehaving, what do? Fa'idhuhunna. So the first thing is admonition, which means communication. You have to talk to that wife. You are disrespectful to me. Have I done anything? Is there any reason why you are doing that? Let her also talk. Because sometimes as husbands, we don't allow our wives to talk. We don't listen to them to see how they feel. Let her express herself. This is why, I don't know I'm disrespectful. She may not know. Then she will learn from that. But communication is very important. But first, look inward, evaluate yourself. Are you the one pushing her to behave in such a way? May Allah bless our homes.
The next one is for you too. Imam, how do you distinguish between a medical issue and a spiritual one?
How do you distinguish whether an issue is medical or spiritual? So generally, when you know that you are suffering a particular thing, the first thing is attend to it through the evidence-based way, which is medical, is empirical. So if you have now tried that, they say no, you can now go spiritual. And when we say to go to the spiritual, we say call on Allah first and foremost. Even if it is medical, still call on Allah. Because but any ill health you have, read your son meji. So, eloba one doctor ni. You inform me, you know man me, you know come and shame me, medical. So if you have now been trying medical, then dua. You have not been just doing that, it's still the same. Okay, do ruqyah for the person. Maybe it is a spiritual. But there are some things that you know that this one may not be medical at all. For example, a person comes, there is a member of the masjid who said, her mother called me. Oh no, she called me that she had been having this problem. Soon. She always had sexual dreams. And feel always nightmare. At the same time, all the men that proposed to marry her, after a short while, they will leave her. At the same time, she's a first class graduate. Where she works, somebody proposed here, issue, she had to leave that work. She has to go to look for another one. So people can buff. So, and we have been taught from the spiritual realm that when you are seeing something like having consistent nightmare, you pay attention to it. Like when the king in Surah to Yusuf, when he said, Inni ara fil manam, I've been seeing in my dream 7 cows who are lame, and 7 I've been seeing inni ara. You know? When you have been saying something repeatedly in your dreams, it's different from something you just saw once. So this woman has been saying this and it's becoming recurrent. And I told her, let's do ruqyah over this matter. But you have to come with some of your family members. We did ruqyah for her. Wallahi, there was something surprising. So when the ruqyah was going on, she began to scream. Don't disturb me. She is disturbing me. She should stop reading this Quran. She should stop reading the Quran. Definitely, when you hear that, would you think that is that woman that is talking? Never. They have taken control over our mind completely. Because later, I was afraid. She was just screaming. She was, come forward, back everybody. Told her. Then I shouted, keep quiet. Then we continued the Rukia session. After a while, she became unconscious. After a short while, she gained her consciousness again. Because she came from work. So everything that had transpired, she was not herself. They took complete control over her. That was the third time I will be seeing such a thing. So Alijanoa is real. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Since then, our mother would call me thanking. So she became well after that, alhamdulillah. Another person too, one of our members like this, brought somebody working for her. The Imam Katuban complained, something similar to that first one. Think about it now on science, this will be spiritual. We did the ruqyah for her, and she was crying at a point. So later we asked her, what did you say? I saw a man. She mentioned the name of the man. Lanky, tall, dark, and he was threatening her. You dare come here? I'm going to do this one. But she said the person left. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. The woman, one of us was telling me, Imam, since then, she got better opportunity. She has traveled abroad now. Imam. So sometimes it happens like that. And married, miscarriage. When any man approaches them, they will always leave them. This is why we should always be doing our askar. Wallahi, about 4 members of this masjid have told me, since they have been doing their askar regularly, morning and evening askar, they have seen a great change, positive change in their lives. Wallahi, when the imam, morning, evening, and going to bed, things have changed for them. Things have become better for them. Yes. Physiologically, mentally, please refer to the doctors first. May Allah guide us aright. Okay, what to do in Ruqyah in the Sunnah way. So, I don't think it's something. Okay, summarily, when you are talking about Ruqyah, is just reciting the Quran onto the person who may be suffering from any spiritual ailment. You just read it loudly. Make sure you are in ablution and put your trust in Allah, not in your ability and not in what you are reading. Let Allah put your trust in Allah. So you can recite any parts of the Quran, especially those parts that the Prophet ﷺ particularly recommended for us. I remember one day when I was doing ruqyah for a particular person, she was saying, hey, later somebody was now telling me, she never knew anything. So Alijanu will take over and the world, there is general moral decline amongst humans. The same thing is happening amongst jinn. This is why we need to always do askar. Every morning, say Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Falak and Nas, 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the evening. When you go to bed, you gather your hands, you recite Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Falak, Nas, sweet, rub it over your body. Do it the second time, do it the third time. And make sure you recite Ayatul Kursi when you go to bed, and especially after every salat. When you are going out, always say Bismillah, Tawakkaltu ala Allah, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Anytime you want to enter your house, do not forget to say Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum. Anytime, even if there is nobody inside, say Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum. Because sometimes, husbands and wives, you may be fighting over trivias. Those trivial matters, Udema Dinkanlala, became a Jasi, toothpaste. O sì lè tẹ̀ láàrin, ebú yẹ kó lè tẹ̀ lájú ni wọ́n o ti ń tẹ̀ jù, o ti ń bu kíní. Something trivial. And you don't know demons ẹ ti kwálé jẹun ló wọlé, àwọn náà ń dààmú yín. So always say Bismillah. Before you eat anything you want to eat, always say Bismillah. So if you want to do ruqya, just decide to perform ablution, recite Surah Al-Fatiha, any part of Baqarah, especially Ayatul Kursi, Falaq, Nas, Ikhlas. Tó bá ti kàyẹn náà, kìí ṣe bó bá ṣe kà á tó ní pàtàkì. So but iman tí o fi kà and your own uprightness, ó máa ń help gidi gan in doing ruqya. But àwọn specialists in ruqya, I'm not a rocky law lè mi ṣe o. Islamic and Sharia and the common law. In the discipline, it's rocky. I do it once in a while, but I'm not a specialist in ruqya. So if you have any spiritual challenge, you don't come to me. I can only advise to go to specialists. Wallahu a'lam. Assalamu alaikum.
I guess that will be the last question.